Okay, so we should have this opening and then your walls, and let's go ahead and click your walls to make sure they're grouped, and only your walls should be grouped. Now what I'm going to do is show you how layers and tags work. So you're going to go to your right hand side, this little tag button, click it. And tags are like layers. I don't really know how to explain it, so let me just show you. So this is a group right now, and if we right click on it and click Entity Info, it'll come up that there's one piece that I just clicked. And it's one piece because obviously we made it into a group, which is making it into one. And then it's showing me how it's untagged. So what I want to do is make sure it gets tagged. And usually when we have like a larger floor plan, we would group all the walls. So we would make a wall tag. So back under my tag tab, I want to go to the little plus button and click add a tag. So it's going to pop up with the tag, and I'm just going to type walls and rename it walls. Now I can come back up to the entity info of this item that we had clicked, and the current tag, it says it's untagged. I'm just going to click it and put it under the walls. So now, like, if I click the flooring over here, you can see that it's an untagged material. But if I click this back over here, you could see that it's a group, one item in the group, and it's a walls. So another way we can see if that's correct is you could turn this little eyeball off. And what that does, it hides at that moment anything that is placed under the walls tag. And you can always turn it back on. So let's make sure that gets tagged. Now what we're going to do is learn kind of how to dimension and how to play with like the views. So something over here is called scenes. So we're going to click it. If this becomes too much, actually, notice how you could like exit. Like I can exit the tags and I'll just show this. If not, you could just keep it there on your toolbar and I'll kind of just keep adding, but you can always get it back. And just click exit if you like. So we came to the scenes button, and what this does is this gives you precise view. So instead of like orbiting, you can't really get a precise view. This one does give you precise views. So it gives you a top view, like the front views, the side views, all that stuff. So it gives you exact views. We do use these for when we do dimensions and get elevations and sections, because remember when we manually drew our elevations and sections that we got only the front part of the building, only the side part of the building. So this is when this comes in handy. So like let's say we're going to get the floor plan of this 10 by 10 room. We would obviously click the top view, and something that you have to do is there's two different views it gives you. We are in perspective, but when you need to get any of the plans, sections, or elevations, you need to be in parallel projection. This is this little cube right here, and you click it. So what that gives you is just like the straight top view, and this is what we need, okay? So we're going to kind of work on dimensioning and getting different views. So start with the floor plan, and how we dimension is instead of using the tape measure, this little dimension line with the 3 actually like keeps your dimensions there. So let's click it, and we're going to dimension this point to this point, and then we're going to dimension this point to this point, and then obviously the others are the same. So that's our dimensioned plan view. So let's go ahead and screenshot this, because this is what you're going to turn in for a grade. Well, this is one of the parts. So let's go ahead and make sure we save where we're at. By clicking the save button up here, it'll say saving. It finally saved. And then I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to take a screenshot and I'll come back. So I took my screenshot already. Once you took the screenshot, you go ahead and delete these dimension lines because we're not going to need them anymore. And after that, you can, let's get an elevation. Let's get an elevation of the door side. So let's go look for the door side. And it ended up being this one right here, the left little icon. If your lady is in the way, let's just click her and move her. That's fine. And we're going to dimension. So let's go ahead and dimension our door. I want to see how big you made your door. And then let's dimension the length and then the height. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and screenshot. Okay, I just finished my screenshot. I'm going to go ahead and select these dimension lines and delete them. And then that's it. I'll probably teach you a section at another time because it's a little bit more difficult. But anyways, now you could order it back to, however you'd like. Notice how it's still in the parallel projection. Of course, you could work with your model like that. It's just a different type of view. I don't personally like that, so I'm going to switch it back to perspective mode. I just think it looks a lot more even. But you're not going to be wrong. Nothing's going to come out different if you end up staying in parallel projection. Okay, so lastly, let's see. Okay, a couple more things. So let's go ahead and go to this paint bucket over here. What the paint bucket does is it gives you materials to choose from to kind of paint your walls or your floor or whatever. I'm going to exit the scenes. So I click the paint bucket and these options will come up. There's just a couple of colors. But if I do go to this little search area, it gives us all these materials. So you can go ahead and paint your exterior walls and your interior walls. So let's see. The side of an exterior wall, it's probably going to be like stone or it's going to be brick, cladding, siding, one of the two. So you can go ahead and pick, either any of them. Oops. Okay, so look, there's a mistake. Remember that I grouped this, so if I pick a material and I click it, it's going to paint the entire thing in that group. So I'm going to click Control Z and go back. Remember that I have to get the selection tool and I need to double click into my group, and then there I could edit each wall. And like I said, we're just going to edit the exterior walls because obviously like this brick and cladding are used for outside. So you see how I could just paint each wall now instead of it doing the entire group. And then if I wanted to paint the interior walls like a color, let's bring back up brick and cladding. I could go to the color selection and pick any color I want. So let's say I want it like this blue color. It'll paint my walls that color. So go ahead and paint your room and the exterior walls, however you want. But make sure you have some material. And then we're going to work on the floor because obviously it gives us some flooring options as well. Just SketchUp does not give us the best options online. And if we were working on the actual program, we could customize it to look super, super good. But unfortunately, the online version doesn't allow that. So we just have to work with the materials that we are offered. So we're gonna work on the flooring now. And we're gonna use this surface that we haven't done much with. We're gonna set it up for kind of like a foundation and a flooring. Of course, I'm gonna make this not like, definitely not how like it should be like created or manufactured or built or anything, but this is just for modeling purposes. So let's go ahead and get our selection tool, and we're gonna double click on the surface. So now we are going to right click let me show you how everything got selected first. So it should be all the four corners, all the four edges that got selected, plus that surface. So I'm going to right click and let's make it its own group. Once it's in its own group, let's double click into it. So notice how everything else is kind of like, not like I can't touch anything else. Like I'm focused on that one group, which is what we wanted. And let's go ahead and grab our push and pull tool. And obviously flooring is not paper thin, so let's give this a thickness. We're going to pull it down in the down direction. And we can pull it down about 1 foot. 1 foot, enter. So it was pulled down about 1 foot. And then we can, for cleanliness, let's go ahead and just for the lines to line up, let's go ahead and pull them out up until it hits the wall. So I grab this push and pull tool, and let's pull it out and kind of snap it into place along that wall. And then we could pull out, snap it into place along that wall, rotate ourselves, pull out, snap into that place, and snap into that place. Okay. So there we go. There we have our foundation floor. Now what I want to do is kind of give it a material for the flooring. So let's go back to our paint bucket, and then we can go to, wood is a flooring, tiles, flooring, carpet is flooring. Go ahead and pick one of those two, or those three, and go ahead and pick out a flooring. They're not the best options, but, and then we could click to get out of that, okay? So I picked my flooring, I picked the siding, and I picked the inside color. And this is kind of where we're going to leave off. We learned about the painting and the materials. Oh, wait, sorry, last thing. And then the tags. So we have this wall tagged. I'm going to exit out of this materials things and go to the tags. So we have our wall tag, but we didn't make our flooring tag. So look how there's two different groups now. We're going to add one more tag, and we're going to do foundation. Oops. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on this little group for the flooring and the foundation. Remember that we're going to right click and get entity info. It's stating that it's untagged. Let's go ahead and click it and put it in the correct one, foundation. And there we go, now it's tagged correctly. The way we can check is turn off the little eyeball, and only that should be gone. And then you can turn it right back on. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this because this is another one of your submission points. Just make sure that I can see, obviously, that you painted the outside walls, you painted the inside walls, you did the flooring, and I could obviously see the thickness in your foundation. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that, and make sure that, here, there we go, and make sure that I can see these tabs off to the side, so I could see that you did different tags, okay? I'm gonna take a screenshot now. Okay, and then that's it. I took the screenshot, so let's go ahead and save this by clicking save. And it's saved, and if we ever needed to refer back to it, again, you would go to these 3 lines, the home page, and it'll be in your little folder right here.